o'clock on this July 10th. Thanks for joining us on Arc Rochester. It is Friday Eve, my friends.
Amen to that.
I'm Abi Fridmann.
I'm Schrack. We have 2 full hours to get through this morning, so let's run down what we have brewing for you in just a moment. We first want to continue our coverage on some breaking overnight news.
Yeah, so Stephannie Joseph is over at the live desk right now with more on these developing stories. Steph, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, guys. We are working to learn more after one person died overnight in what Rochester police are calling a suspicious incident. Now, that individual was found dead in the area of North Clinton Avenue and Pleasant Street just before midnight. RPD's Major Crimes Unit is investigating, but no other details have been shared. And we will, of course, follow this story for you throughout the day and bring you the latest information both on air and on 13wham.com. Back.
All right, Steph, thank you. We'll get a check now at what is brewing this Thursday morning. School may be out, but learning doesn't have to be. Today we're getting tips on how parents can keep their kids engaged, curious, and ahead while on summer break.
School may be out, but learning is always in style.
There you go.
Yeah. The Rochester Gay Men's Chorus is taking audiences on a journey into the jungle. We're going to learn more about their upcoming concert and its message of empowerment and hope.
And then later on, we're looking ahead to the Cornhill Arts Festival. It's happening this weekend. We'll meet the artist behind this year's official festival poster, and then a live in-studio performance from one of the musicians taking the stage.
But before all of that, we do want to get a full check of the forecast. Meteorologist McLean is here because we're experiencing some very humid conditions out there, and we could see some showers. Is it paper sticking weather, McLean?
Well, these are all stapled together, so if these stick to my head, I've got some medical issues.
Yes, well, you already have those.
Yeah, we get the point. It is tropical, right? Lots of humidity as you walk out the door today. There's some cloud cover. You see a few patchy clouds. But for the most part, this is the number that you're going to feel. It's that 66-degree dew point. That number is actually going to climb up closer to 70 by the time we get to the afternoon. Now, the question, when do we start wringing out some of that moisture from the atmosphere? And it looks like it's going to be this afternoon, especially for areas south and southeast of Rochester into the Finger Lakes. That's going to be our best chance of catching that downpour. Then the rest of the overnight and tomorrow morning look dry for us. So forecast-wise, plan on temperatures moving through the 70s into the low 80s. There's that thunder threat for the afternoon. Could be a few slow movers there, and the tropical air is going to stay in town for the next few days. We're near 90 by Saturday. See how long that tropical air stays coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, McLean, we like that tropical air. I'm here for it.
Summer lover's dream.
Yes, sir. All right, let's go off the top now and start with some of the things that have piqued our interest, and I'm going to kick things off this morning. For my off the top today, I want to talk about a video that's going viral right now. We're going to show you clips throughout the story, but we've removed the audio because it gets vulgar at times. Now, if you've seen it and you watch the full video, you'll see a man confronting a Popeyes employee after he complimented his wife. Apparently at the drive-thru, the worker told the woman she was beautiful, and that didn't sit well with her husband. This guy went into the restaurant angry, stiff, loud, reprimanding the employee and demanding he never say it again. And it doesn't escalate, it starts at a 10. Do we have the video? Here you go. So right there at the front counter, in front of other customers. This clip was first posted by rideshare driver named Uncle John. And since then, it's been shared with over thousands of comments just pouring in. Some people say the husband was defending his marriage. Others say he's just insecure. And then there's a third group in the comments just trying to figure out if they ever got their biscuits. But this moment, as loud as it was, I think whispers something else. Are we not allowed to compliment people anymore? I mean, I've complimented people before. I hope everyone has, but I do wonder, have I ever made someone uncomfortable without realizing it? Is that something I need to be more conscious of, or am I still allowed to tell someone they have a nice smile or a good vibe or a great taste? Now, to be clear, I'm not talking about catcalling. I'm talking about actual, sincere, respectful compliments. Because by all accounts, that's what this employee at Popeyes did. So where does that leave us? In the comment section, where most of us end up, the big takeaway people think is this man was way over the top with the reaction. And a lot of them are concerned about his wife's safety. They're wondering, is it toxic masculinity or a fear of infidelity or maybe just a guy who spent his whole life confusing control for confidence? So do we stop holding doors open for people? Do we kill chivalry? Are we supposed to all just walk on eggshells from now on? I don't think so. I think appropriate compliments are good. They're human. And they make people smile, and I like making people smile. So here are my thoughts for the comment section of this video. Calling someone beautiful shouldn't be enough to crash out in public like this. I hope this man's wife is okay, because if this is how he acts in front of a crowd, imagine how he acts behind closed doors. And if he's this mad over a compliment, it might not be about his wife at all. Maybe he's overcompensating for something that's not exactly supersized, if you get my drift. I also hope this guy builds enough confidence to look back and say, I was wrong.
Wow.
Did you see the video?
I haven't, no, not in its entirety.
You gotta watch it.
Okay.
Gotta watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I think...
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
And the Uncle John who's filming this, the rideshare guy, the guy at the counter who's berating this poor employee, he looks at Uncle John and says, am I in the wrong? And Uncle John's reaction is like, well, because Uncle John's thinking, yeah, you're in the wrong.
Yeah. That is, it does make me sad. It really does.
Right?
I'm sure that the employee wasn't doing it to intentionally hurt anybody's feelings or anything like that. You know.
And his apology to this guy was sincere, time after time after time. I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. I don't know.
Wow, food for thought, for sure. All right, we got to move along to mine. Ashley's yelling at me. They say one man's trash is another man's treasure, and that certainly seems to be the case for this story. A warning, though, it is pretty sad. It made me sad writing it, at least. So this all started with a call to a man named Brandon Arroyo. He's an employee of the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. He was at home with his significant other named Heather, and a report came in of a dog crammed inside a trash compactor at their apartment complex. Yeah. I didn't get clear information if Heather is his wife or his girlfriend.
Okay.
So that's why I said significant other. Okay, either way, this is their apartment complex. The call came into them. When they went to investigate this call, they found this little guy, black and white pup, terrified and stuffed into the bottom of the trash unit. Keep in mind, a trash compactor. That is what the inside of it looked like. They say that the dog was completely silent and shaken to the core. The dog was not barking, dog wasn't making any sound, truly just petrified. Brandon and Heather used a lead rope to get the dog out from under the piles and piles and piles of trash, eventually scooped him up and took him inside their home to safety. He didn't appear to be injured, which is amazing, and they estimate that he was inside the compactor for almost 12 hours. So the couple decided their first priority, once they realized that he was pretty much healthy, he needed a bath, obviously, and they scheduled upcoming vet appointments to get a closer look at some of the issues that he has. He's got some problems with his hip, he has floppy claws on some of his paws, and they also want to get him fixed. The couple says the pup, who's now named Daytona, took to them immediately. They're fostering him, and they say he's friendly, sweet, very cuddly, and unfortunately, the apartment complex they live at doesn't have any security cameras. So it's become really challenging to figure out who exactly put this dog into the trash compactor. Police are investigating, though. Daytona was not microchipped by a previous owner, and nobody has come forward to claim this sweetheart. Police are calling it a cruel and unacceptable act. They say if no one comes forward, the police will work to help find a loving home for Daytona. It wouldn't surprise me if Brandon and Heather ended up keeping him in their loving care. The story just melted my heart and honestly broke it too. I'm wondering if we could show that video again, because it's just such a sweet dog. I've never met a dog that isn't sweet and amazing. But look at the way that pup is looking up at them. I mean, your heart breaks. You wonder how people could do that. How in the world somebody
could be so awful.
Could be so cruel and so horrible. That dog has not had a mean thought a day in its life.
No.
Guarantee it.
No.
And it's not like the dog ended up there accidentally. If you have ever experienced a trash compactor, you have to open it, you have to shove things in. You know, it's not, there was no way that this was any kind of incident or accident.
We need to change the rules for Off the Top because these are just getting me angry at mankind lately. No, like your story and mine.
Hold on,
like the people's behavior.
I think that is the problem here. Every single story that we find in the morning, I mean, it's a struggle to find one that makes you laugh, right? Or makes you smile. It's, unless, you know, it has a happy ending. But the process of getting there is always so hard.
Yeah.
People are really having a hard time keeping their emotions and their feelings in check right now, and they're taking it out on other people or on other animals.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable.
Totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable.
Tell you what, tomorrow I'll try to do better. I'll try to find something happy for
I'm going to do that too.
All right.
I'm going to do that
Cheers
too.
to that.
Ashley, can you remind me of our goal tomorrow morning?
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, time right now.
I'll forget by the end of the show.
Yeah, I know, me too. 8:11, much more to get to this morning on Arc Rochester. When we come back, we are pulling out our finest white attire for an upcoming event.
And don't forget, you can watch us on the go wherever you are. We're streaming live on the 13 Wham YouTube channel and foxrochester.com. Stick around, Arc Rochester is back on the other side of the break. Get your all-white outfits ready because next weekend, guests are invited to an evening of elegance, entertainment, and community for the Color in Blanco fashion experience.
For more, we're joined now by Khadija Yan from Rock Royal Foundation and Wanda Ridgway of Rise Up Rochester. Good morning to you both. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
This is an event that the Rochester community looks forward to every year. But for somebody who's maybe unfamiliar about this pretty unique event, give us a little overview of it.
So what we did this year, we took our Fashion Park annual series that we do every year in our all white, and we combined them. And we wanted to bring more of an upscale vibe, a feel to individuals so that we could feel good and feel angelic while we're out enjoying each other in a different atmosphere.
So where is it taking place?
Well, you know, that's TBA. that comes out the day of. That's one of the good things about this event is you don't find out till I email you from your ticket purchase.
We know this. I was trying. I was hoping we were going to get
I
to
would say downtown Rochester.
Okay.
Give you that clue.
Fair enough.
Downtown Rochester.
Is it always in downtown Rochester?
It's always in downtown Rochester. I love downtown Rochester.
But what's cool about it is it's never the same venue.
No. So we move around. Well, you can only move around for so long. But it's often in different venues around downtown Rochester.
Yeah, that's excellent. And Wanda, tell us a little bit about the partnership here and what's going on.
So it's all about collaboration for me. Khadijah is one of our great partners who we collaborate with. We're at this event, we will be able to honor some young people with scholarships, and that's important. And just letting the community know, like, together we're a force when we all come together. So.
Absolutely.
Well, it's great when the community comes together and then the community actively recognizes some of our youth, our neighbors, if you will, of tomorrow.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's so important that kids can see themselves in others.
Absolutely. And that's one thing, we were just talking about me in camp right now with 300 kids, just building our future. That's one thing. We want to let the youth know to Rochester that through all the things they're going through, you have somebody standing with you. You have somebody there supporting you, whether it's books that you need for college, your trade, or anything like that. And then also on the side of parents, you have someone supporting you. Absolutely. We know that you're going through different things as a parent. There's all types of silos and things going on. But if we come together in our community, we continue to smile together.
That is a beautiful message. And I'm sorry, we're showing these pictures right now. The fashion
That's a fashion, yeah.
incredible.
Some of the outfits here.
Nathaniel Johnson, he created that, and he will be creating this week.
Okay, so tell us about that. You have stylists or fashion designers. Tell us about it.
So Nathaniel Originals, he's one of the greats here in Rochester. He's going to be showcasing different looks. And when I tell you all white, and when I tell you, you got to have to guess kind of what they are because they're really, really dope. They're going to be remakes. I can't give too much because, it's all inclusive, but he's amazing. So we're going to have different, and then also we are the fashion is one of the things. So there's a red carpet. We're going to be interviewing individuals of what you have on, what you feel, and things of that nature. So that's one of the biggest fashion components along with violinists and things of that nature. So it's going to
Do the two of you know, are the outfits picked out? Do we know what we're wearing?
Oh, baby, we was just talking about it. Absolutely not. Event planners never do it till the day before.
Gosh.
Absolutely not.
You guys are busy doing everything else, right?
So wait, how does it work then for the two of you? How are we really? You just wait until the last minute, open the closet, and say.
After this, you just reminded me to pick something. I'll have something by tomorrow. I'll order something by tomorrow. I kind of know where I want to go. We were talking about.
We were just talking about
so,
it.
Yeah,
we just.
Yeah.
It's Amazon Prime Day.
That's and it's deal day. And I just said Amazon. I got Prime. It'll be here in 2 days.
Okay, and then let me ask a follow-up to that, because then do you order two and keep one in the car because you're thinking to yourself, okay, we're going to have fun. I'm going to spill something on myself inevitably.
It's almost automatic for me. I'm so clumsy. But yeah, I'll order 2 different shirts, 2 different things, or have something ready, but I'm ready for it. We're
Walk around with a Tide pen in your pocket, ready to go.
Some Clorox wipe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you both so much for being here today. We appreciate it. One more time for somebody interested. Do they need tickets? Can they still get tickets? How does it all work?
You can get tickets 585dream.org. You can get them. You could pick your team host. There's individuals that's hosting tables that will be able to walk you through the event. And you can get general admission as well. Go to our website. They're available till next Wednesday.
Awesome. Thank you both. We really appreciate it very much. And we'll post all of this information and much more on our website, foxrochester.com, after the show this morning.
Except not the location.
Not the location. Because they we asked before the break and they still won't tell us.
Have to wait and see. When we come back, we have this morning's weather trivia.
Mark will join us on the other side of the break.
Welcome back. We have Mark with us now with a look at the humid weather for today and potentially passing showers. And then we also have to get to weather trivia, too. A lot to cover.
Yeah, a lot. And, a big anniversary, too, for Western New York. This was a tornado outbreak that we had last year on this date. That was July 10th, 2024. And we also set a record on this date last year for rainfall in Rochester.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's a cram-packed day.
I think that was the busiest weather day in the forecast center that I can ever remember. We had break-in weather coverage for like 2 or 3 hours during the afternoon on this date last year. But here's the trivia. Again, on this date last year, Rochester set a daily rainfall record. How much rain fell on July 10th, 2024? Was it 3.5 inches of rain? Was it around a half inch of rain, around an inch of rain, or around 2 inches?
Here's the thing.
Of rain?
I know that at some point we talked about it.
Of course we did.
1,000,000%. We probably said it at least 16 times, probably more than that, in that morning.
Yeah,
Morning
a year
following.
ago. Of course,
But
we didn't have Arc Rochester at that point, so we would have been, off the air?
By
At 9.
Yeah, 9. So we probably wouldn't have gone as in-depth as we can now on some of this stuff. So.
This is true. Yeah.
But we'll have that answer coming up at 9 o'clock.
Fair enough.
Put a guess in on Facebook, although I don't know if I posted it. I can't remember. I'm going to have to post this. I don't think I posted it to Facebook yet. I'll do that right after this weather that we have right here. But check this out. This is some video that we have from that tornado outbreak from last year. Remember the Eden tornado in Buffalo?
Yes, I do.
Nuts.
The video from that. And you can see, a well-developed tornado there.
It looks like a fire. It looks like
Yeah.
smoke, which is the freakiest part, like first glance.
This was crazy right here. I mean, it basically went right over him. There goes the roof.
Yeah.
I remember this video. We played this video quite a bit. Now, you're near a window there. If you don't know it's coming, just get inside, but you want to be in a basement if you do know it's coming for something like this. And, of course, this is on the back of our mind because of the tornado that we had just couple of days ago here, in Western New York. So we're not a stranger to tornadoes, but we just don't see them very frequently, at least in this area. But, weather-wise, the story has been one of dry weather recently. We have not had official rainfall in Rochester over the last week, although some spots certainly did earlier this week when that tornado moved on through. There's a stalled boundary just to our south, and that's going to serve as a focusing mechanism for maybe a downpour or two this afternoon. We'll have to see if some of these downpours are slow movers. There could be some issues with poor drainage flooding. We'll keep everybody posted on that late this afternoon into this evening. Right now, we do not see a widespread severe weather threat. I just want to stress that. It doesn't look like these are severe storms, just slow movers as they come on through. So, if you do see one of those, it's a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch of rain. But, you look to the south towards Geneseo there, and you see some of those 1 inch plus amounts. Not to specifically nail this down to any town south of Rochester, but if one storm does sit over your backyard for a length of time, you may see some rain amounts in that range. There's the wham cam. You've got your dew point in the mid-60s right now. The light southwest breeze, the air temperature's at 70, and that dew point right there, that is a sweat-tastic number, right?
Ew.
At 66. Well, this is how you get rid of it. You go in your pool.
Yep.
You go in your pool. Notice that the seat is empty next to that pool.
Yeah.
We're
Dan?
waiting for your photo.
I was going to say, Dan has suggested
Yeah.
a pool picture.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Of Mark McLean out there.
Oh, I've been meaning to do that. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's my bad. I'll
Yeah.
get on it.
Or we
You're
could do
supposed to be
a
working on it.
rotating staff picture for the summertime.
I think
of pool pictures.
No, I think it.
No, I
it's gotta
think
be
a
you.
permanent one of you would be great.
Oh boy. Mid-60s tonight. It's the full buck moon out there at 8:54 this evening.
Hey, can you say that 5 times fast?
Yeah.
But there could be
A slip up.
Yeah.
we call those mortgage moments in television. Because that mortgage is coming next month, whether I say that or not.
Yep.
Yep, okay. 86 on Friday, 90 on Saturday. That's going to be a hot day for us. Keep the air conditioner cranked up. Scattered showers and thunder on Sunday, 86 degrees, an isolated thunder shower on Monday. And we'll see. Could we get 2 or 3 days of 90-degree heat next week? It's a possibility, and that would be at least a chance for another heat wave in the forecast for next week.
I'm thinking for
Yeah.
that photo, we've got to go back into the archives and get one of you in your Speedo when you were a lifeguard
Oh, yeah.
and use that.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. That didn't happen.
I don't know. It seems like maybe you you have evidence.
I'd be more than
There's
happy
evidence.
to save a life if I could, but there is...
All right.
I mean,
No pictures of me.
you're typically drowning out here, so. Here's your lifesaver.
Okay.
Commercial break.
Okay, before we go,
She's playing
there it
this
is.
out.
There it
The
is.
garden music. We have
Yeah.
to talk about the garden.
Do we?
Yeah.
I think there was supposed to be a graphic that
Yeah.
went with that.
Oh,
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there.
So-
Listen, wait.
Okay.
There we go.
All right,
we
we go.
want to know if you have garden questions, Abigail.
Yes, we do. And the best news is we will answer them. And by we, I mean not me. So send us your garden questions.
Is there supposed to be something in the white area?
Yes,
of this?
I think something is wrong with this graphic. And they're reloading it, and
Can I go
now
get
they've
the fail
just
button?
muted the audio.
Can I go get the fail button?
You can get the fail
Okay.
button.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go.
There
Okay.
we go.
Now you got
Email
it?
us.
Don't tell us to wrap it up when we haven't even told them what we're supposed to tell them, Ashley.
Email us, news@13wham.com. You can
Okay.
also message us on the 13wham Facebook page. We want to
Yeah.
know your gardening questions. So, how do I get rid of all the beetles that have taken over my tomato
Yeah.
plants?
Ooh, you know
No.
The
The coffee
Japanese
grounds
beetles are
actually-
bad right now.
Do coffee
Yeah.
grounds actually help the flowers?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Do they perk them up? Do they keep slugs away?
How do you keep deer away?
How do
that
you
kind
keep
of stuff.
Yeah. So, ask us
Yeah.
your garden questions. Mark will
Environmentally safe ways of doing so.
Yes. Yes. How do you keep people away? Okay, we got to wrap.
getting-
Don't go anywhere. We've
Bye.
got a lot more to come here on Arc Rochester.
We're back after this, maybe.
We're seeing you on Zoom. Oh,
I was hearing the studio and not.
Yeah, so,
She's not hearing me in there either.
I know.
Good Thursday morning. Thanks so much for staying with us here on Arc Rochester. We now want to take a closer look at some of the stories that are sparking conversation online and find out what you have to say and where you stand on some of these hot topics.
Yeah, we're going to start out with a wild story. Rochester police urging people to keep their eye out and be vigilant after several reported sightings of a large and potentially wild cat.
This is a wild story in and of itself. Police say it stemmed from a video circulating on social media which appeared to show the animal. You can see in this video, this was sent to us by Stephannie Baez.
RPD also received several calls in the overnight hours for sightings of the cat, but those reports have not been substantiated.
Now, overnight, officers used a drone from the sheriff's office to search the area of North Clinton Avenue and Rauber Street, but couldn't find anything.
The shelter-in-place order has been lifted. RPD says if anybody observes a large wild animal, they are advised to go indoors immediately and call 911.
Now, I have to imagine, Steph, that people are weighing in on this on social media. What are they saying?
Yeah, well, it's a mix of both shock and maybe some familiarity for some people. So we'll start out with Lisa here. So she said that my stepdaughter told us she saw something on the Hojack Trail in Webster in the early 2000s. DEC trapped it. Was a mountain lion that was declawed. So. Another sighting in another area potentially. As for Kyle, he suggests the reported sighting may have to do with environmental factors. So he said, quote, keep taking away where they live. It's bound to happen where they go places in search of food. And then the unconfirmed sighting also has some people asking bigger questions. So Jamie saying, where did this wildcat come from? Portia also adding, my daughter saw one 2 months ago, one night at our storage unit in Webster. So another potential Webster sighting. Shaking my head, wow, I thought she was lying. So again, police have not verified that this was a wild cat in the city, but a lot of people thinking that it may be a mountain lion. Others are just poking fun at the situation. Derek wants to know if he can pet the animal, while Amber sees this as an excuse to call out of work.
Do you remember that?
Do you remember that video? Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog?
That's what that's from.
That's what he's doing.
But I would imagine the answer is
Yeah, the answer is no,
Don't.
Derek. Listen, wild story. Wild story. And again, no shortage of remarks. And, we were talking about it, and somebody actually sent me a photo on TikTok of what appears to be a wild cat like this size, saying my sister took this in her backyard. I got to send it to the newsroom to see if there's any validity to this.
Yeah.
Crazy, though. Crazy story.
It really is. And you know what? We already have so many comments on that post.
Yeah.
And it was just posted, 4:15 this morning?
Yeah.
Something like
Yeah.
that. So we definitely want to hear what you at home have to say. So.
Important, though, quickly to point out that our RPD did check with the zoo.
Yes.
And the zoo says all of its animals are accounted for. So that's not a factor here.
Yeah, good stuff. All right.
Go for it.
We got to move on now to a click to cancel rule that would have required businesses to make it easier for consumers to cancel unwanted subscriptions. It is now a no-go.
Yeah, the proposed rule would have applied to everything from gym memberships to streaming services. It was passed by the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, during the Biden administration. Now an appeals court is saying the FTC failed to conduct a preliminary analysis of the costs and benefits of this rule.
Steph, I imagine there are some people that are disappointed in this new announcement and the fact that this is going to be a no-go. Let's hear what they have to say.
Yeah, there are some people. We'll start out with Joe. He says, one thing I hope people consider is that navigating the internet, social media, etc., can already be more difficult for older people. A click to cancel rule could have really been beneficial for seniors as well as the rest of us.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
Very true there. Jamie also adding, it's easy to subscribe, but canceling is like 3 different pages, and some hide the cancel button at the bottom of the last page. So you'll go back to your account page thinking you canceled that subscription. So a lot of confusion that can come with this. I think a lot of people sharing the sentiment that it's harder than it should be.
Yeah, and listen, I'm not a huge fan of we didn't look at the analysis well enough of the cost benefit or anything. I feel like there's only a benefit for consumers here.
Yeah.
Less junk mail. We don't want it. We don't need it. I know depending on what kind of phone or whoever your email is through, they offer their own unsubscribe, one click to cancel things, but it doesn't do anything for the subscription services themselves, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, we'll see if anything develops with
Yeah.
that. But, I agree with so many of the comments. It can be really challenging to try to cancel those, especially for those who are maybe not as tech savvy as others. And, they don't want to be a burden asking family members, can you help me with my 15 subscriptions that I need to cancel?
Yeah, and well, Steph, I'm sure you would agree with this, that more often than not, it's, people of a specific generation that fall victim to a lot of those online crimes. And, this is just one more headache that they now have to deal with.
Yeah, that is for sure.
It's unfortunate.
All right, we got to move on now to Mattel introducing a new Barbie. She is branching out again, joining the millions of Americans living with diabetes.
Yeah, the toy brand partnered with Breakthrough T1D, formerly known as Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, to create the doll. The doll comes with a glucose monitor and an insulin pump and has a blue polka dot outfit on representing diabetes awareness.
There you go. Steph, curious to know how the viewers are responding to this one.
Yeah, well, Becky had to say that it's a disease that can totally dominate a child's life. To be able to identify with a Barbie doll may just help that little girl or boy process what they're going through. So support for having some representation and an inclusive Barbie. As for Tamara, she shares a personal story of when she became diagnosed with T1D at age 8. And she further writes that children play with their toys to avoid the real world, the poking and prodding, the limitations of doing things friends can do. And I did have to abridge this because of some grammatical errors, but she further said this will just end up a collector's item. Also, Brittany adding that she's wondering rather if there will be more versions of Ken.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, why doesn't Ken have any issues? Listen, that's a fair question.
It is. It's Barbie's world.
It is Barbie's world, and he's only living in it. At some point, he's got to face a challenge or two. Why does he get away scot-free?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Come on, Mattel.
You know, one of the reasons I really like this segment is because you get a lot of different points of view.
You do. And listen, I think it's a riot to see what people have to say.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable to know what you at home say about some of the things that we cover and, weigh in.
Yeah. And of course, you can always find these stories over on 13wham.com. You can weigh in on our social media pages. Be kind. You may see your comments right here on air.
Thank you, Steph. Hey, stick around. When Arc Rochester returns, we are taking a look at some of the stories that are trending this morning.
Don't forget, take us on the go wherever you are. We're streaming live right now. Join us on the 13wham YouTube channel and foxrochester.com. We're back after this. Welcome back. Time to take a look at what's trending this morning, starting with an appetizer controversy.
Oh, okay. A tearful TikTok is going viral after a woman shared her story about being rejected from a 4th of July party.
Have you heard about this?
No.
Okay, it has taken over my social media.
Okay.
So here we go. In the video shared to social media, this woman is in tears explaining that she was new to her neighborhood and was invited to a party in the neighborhood. She prepared an Antipasto salad to bring to the party, containing homegrown vegetables and a variety of meats and cheeses.
Okay.
Do you know what Antipasto is?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course. So according to her, she said that once she and her son arrived, she was greeted with hostility.
Yeah, she claims that despite her attempts to be friendly and introduce herself, she was made to feel unwelcome by the hosts as she thought she had shown up uninvited.
She then left the party and said, "This is why you don't make friends in your 30s."
So the post got a lot of attention on social media. She revealed that one of the hosts of the party called her to apologize and said he was not expecting her and had thought she would just drop off her son and then leave.
What? Well, not everyone. Am I missing something here?
No.
Well, not everyone agrees that the woman was in the right. The consensus seems overwhelmingly on her side.
So the post blew up. A lot of people fixated on the Antipasto in particular, commenting that it looked really good and the host didn't deserve all of the effort that the woman put into the dish.
Others are saying the salad was a disgrace and that it was the reason she was treated with hostility. Okay, I'm confused.
All right, so let me break it down for you. You ready? Okay, so this woman, new to the neighborhood with her son, the mother of one of her son's friends, said, "We're having a party in the neighborhood. Come on by. We have fireworks, 4th of July.
Sure.
Come on over."
Great, we'll be there.
Brings an Antipasto, brings the son. They show up. They walk in, and according to the other family they were hosting, it was not an open party. It was not invite whoever you want. It was a family party, and this lady just waltzed in. Everybody on social media is saying, yeah, it's Southern hospitality, or just hospitality in general. If somebody shows up to your house, you're not gonna kick them out and say, get out of the house. The people at the party, some of them knew this woman and her son.
She was invited.
Yes, but not by the people who owned the home.
Oh.
It was like the sister-in-law or something.
Oh, okay.
But they knew that she was coming. That the guest who invited the mom said, somebody's coming with their son, new to the neighborhood, whatever. And you got to watch the video. It's so complicated, and there are so many different sides, and it is getting so hostile.
Okay, I'll tell you what. No, there's not so many sides. There's one side.
There is one. Yes. Okay.
The side of hospitality.
Yeah.
Someone gets invited, whether you want them there or not. Guess what? They've been invited.
Yeah.
And you kind of look like a jerk to take back that invitation or to treat them a certain way when they show up. Just let them. Who's it hurting?
Yeah.
To have an extra guest who brought food to your party.
It looked amazing. I would tell you what, grab all of it right in my mouth. That looks amazing.
How long did she end up staying?
Not long at all. And
did she take her son with her when she left? Good.
Yep.
Good.
They left, and it has blown up on social media.
I've seen nothing.
Okay. Her original post has 3 million views.
Wow.
No, I'm not. Sorry, 3 million likes.
Oh wow.
More views than that. So people are pretty heated.
Yeah, they're in the wrong. This lady's in the right in my book, and she's welcome to come to our party.
You don't
she
even need to
watches
bring
the show.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
you don't even need to bring any Antipasto.
No, just show up.
Yeah.
All right, let's move along. If you're a fan of Panera's mac and cheese, well, then listen up and pucker up.
I saw this yesterday and immediately thought of Ashley. The restaurant chain announced a partnership with the beauty brand Holler and Glow. Hollow and Glow? Holler and Glow? It went too fast. I'm sorry. Okay.
They're launching an unexpected product that is equally indulgent and playful just in time for National Mac and Cheese Day on July 14.
The brands concocted 2 lip balms inspired by Panera's popular mac and cheese and bread bowls.
I'm looking Holler and Glow. Holler and glow.
Smack My Day is a golden mac and cheese scented balm. And Get That Bread is a toasty bread scented balm. Panera said the two bring cozy, carb-inspired comfort to your beauty routine.
Okay, so what are you supposed to do? Do the bread on top and the cheese on the bottom?
I think it's whichever you're like feeling.
Whatever mood you're in.
Yeah.
Each box comes with one of each of those scented balms and a spoon-shaped applicator, because what gets people going more than more stuff that's going to end up in the junk drawer?
Fans can now get the balms exclusively on Amazon and the Panera shop for $8 while supplies last.
Did you buy this? You bought this. This is what.
Oh no!
This is what she bought this
Oh, boy.
morning. Listen. She's buying it, and she's buying something for the show, and announces that she's buying something for the show. And I was like, "What is it?" Well, I can't tell you. And I was like, "But you have to give me the receipt. I'm gonna find out. Now I'll get it."
Okay.
Listen, I can't do it if there's beeswax in it.
It didn't have ingredients, so.
Well, we're gonna
check
have to
when it
find
gets
out.
here.
Or real cheese.
Or real cheese? You think they're
Yeah. Listen, you don't know. You don't know what some of these
can of
companies
Cheese
will do
Whiz.
just to sell stuff. All right, let's move along. There's a new product that's being sold as a creative reminder to protect yourself from the sun.
Yeah, it's called Skin Case. It's a flesh-like phone case that looks, feels, and burns just like human skin. That is the nastiest thing I've ever seen.
A researcher was inspired to create the case after studies revealed the staggering gaps between the number of times people check their phones during the hours with a high UV index and the number of sunscreen applications in that same time
I can't
frame.
even look at it. It looks like lunch meat.
Yeah, it does.
So as the phone case starts to burn in real time, it serves as a reminder to slap on a little bit of sunscreen.
What is it made out of that it burns in the sun?
I don't know.
Just FYI, that's what I look like when I burn. Yes, creepy and lifelike. That's exactly what I look like. The creator insists it's synthetic. Authentic, yes.
Relevant and creepy.
The silicone even replicates wrinkles, making it extra real.
It was created in 3 different skin tones, and each reacts to UV rays by changing colors, just like the real thing. As of now, the Skin Case is still a prototype and isn't for sale quite yet.
But as soon as it goes on the market, I'm sure we'll buy it. It reminds me of, have you ever watched Doctor Who?
Yes.
There was a character in, I think maybe in one episode, a woman who had too much plastic surgery, and she was just a face at that point.
Yep.
Stick around. When ARC Rochester returns, we're getting some tips on how to keep students learning during summer break.
Yeah, we're back after this.
Welcome back, 8:51. While summer is about having fun in the sun, it's also critical to keep those young minds thinking and active in order to prevent what's known as summer slide. Studies show the average student can lose 2 to 4 months of academic progress during summer break.
Yeah, Susan Starren, director of Sylvan Learning, is back with us this morning to continue a talk on the summer slide and how to keep your students learning without making it feel like homework. Susan, always good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Let's get into it. We talked about this before, about the summer slide and, you know, how kids can kind of just send their own brains on vacation and, you know, let the minds rot away with video games and whatever. But there are ways to avoid it, for sure.
Absolutely. You know, you want to keep kids' minds active. And now that we're kind of into summer and maybe that initial thrill of it is kind of worn off and kids maybe are saying, oh, I'm bored, I need something to do. You know, throw a little bit of academics in there and help kids catch up. Summer is a great time not only to prevent summer learning loss, but also for some kids to get ahead. You know, we find even at Sylvan that when students are working over the summer is the only time that the academic train kind of stops and you can make some progress and start catching up. So if you invest in your kids with some time spent, even 30 to 60 minutes a day, just even a few days a week working on some reading and math skills, even in some fun ways, it can really make a big difference for the fall.
You know, the threat of yard work and academics during the summer, always my boredom, it just vanished. It vanished.
Came up
but I
with
want to
something
talk
creative.
about that reading list.
Yes.
How are we having our kids stay on top of them so a month and a half from now, we're not looking at the calendar and saying, how am I reading 4 books by, you know, day 1?
Absolutely. I mean, scheduling and keeping kids organized is key. That sets up a skill not only just for the summer, but also for the whole school year and beyond. So, you know, budgeting out some time each day to be reading, helping kids pick some books that are fun or choose things that are in their interests off that summer reading list. Even as parents, read those books with your kids. Set it up as like a little book club so that you can get together, ask questions when kids are reading. It's not just about reading fluency and checking the box and getting through it, but really helping kids understand what they're reading, using critical thinking skills. So asking them questions and getting them engaged, that will really help make a difference and help them enjoy their learning experience too.
I remember I was in high school. I must have been a junior, was in AP composition or AP lit or one of those. And my mom, who's a teacher, found out that I put off my summer reading book, which was Jane Eyre, which was like the most impossible book to read. It was like a week before school started. And I was supposed to keep a journal all summer long, didn't do any of it. And she practically locked me in that bedroom and was like, you're not coming out till you finish Jane Eyre.
Yeah.
And so you went onto Netflix and Googled Jane Eyre.
It was way before all that. No, I sat there and I read and I highlighted and I did it all, but
we don't want to traumatize our kids with our summer learning, you know, so try to budget it out.
It was good, but you know.
But try, you know, there's so many fun ways to get kids engaged, you know, not only just with reading, but also with math skills, helping kids learn responsibility, you know, helping them just join you in the kitchen when you're cooking and doing measuring. You know, a great fun way is to grow a garden together. Give kids that responsibility where they can see progress of things that they've invested in. You know, just getting kids outside, collecting things as you go on your fun kind of daily adventures, and then putting all those fun activities, you know, little rock from the park or a ticket from Darien Lake or, you know, something from the Science Museum, throw it all in a little bag and have them reach in and pull something out and then write about their favorite experience. So trying to put a fun twist on getting kids to learn so that they do feel good about it and years later don't have, you know, negative memories about learning in their summer. You know, it's that finding that perfect balance of having fun, getting kids off of those screens and getting kids learning and engaged too.
Well, I would imagine this time of year, those end-of-year conversations that we had with teacher about where Johnny and Susie were and what were the hits and misses of the year really would pay off because we know what we need to focus on before the first bell.
Absolutely. You know, the more proactive you can be, the better your kids are going to be in the fall. And if you know there was a weakness last school year, those things aren't going to change in the fall magically. So we need to invest and spend some time to make those corrections. Really, spending time now gives kids so much more confidence in the fall and can make school so much more fun. Kids love learning when they feel good about it and it's a positive experience for them. It's when they're struggling that it's a drag to get up every single morning. So you can kind of change things around for kids and start them on a new course and get them feeling good about learning.
Good advice, Susan Starren.
Thank you so much.
you.
We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Time right now, 8:56. Much more to get to this morning on ARC Rochester.
We're back on the other side of the break.
Much more to get to this morning on ARC Rochester. As we continue into the 9 o'clock hour, Stephannie Joseph will break down some of our top political headlines.
Yeah, she joins us now from the live desk with a preview of what we can expect at 9. Morning, Steph.
Morning there, guys. In today's political polls, President Trump has floated the idea of the White House running 2 major cities. I speak to an expert to break down the feasibility of this. That's coming up in our 9 o'clock hour. ARC Rochester returns after this.
morning, July 10th. Thanks for joining us on ARC Rochester. I'm Abi Fridmann.
And I'm Dan Schrack. Meteorologist Mark McLean back in with us again. We'll have a check of his forecast in just a moment. But first, we want to go to our continuing coverage of some overnight breaking news.
Yeah, Stephannie Joseph is over at the live desk right now with more on what we've learned overnight. Steph, good morning.
Yeah, we are working to learn more after one person died overnight in what Rochester police are calling a suspicious incident. Now, that individual was found dead in the area of North Clinton Avenue and Pleasant Street just before midnight. RPD's Major Crimes Unit is investigating, but no other details have been shared. We will continue to follow this story for you throughout the day and bring you updates right here on air and online at 13wham.com. Back to you.
All right, Steph, thank you. We'll get a look now at the humid conditions and the answer to this morning's weather trivia. Mark is back, and, we're really getting ready for some humid weather.
Yeah, the humid weather is kind of locking in across the area. It's not uncommon for this time of the year. I mean, we do get our taste of maritime tropical air. That's what it's called. That's the technical term for it. But some of that tropical air wrung out over Rochester a year ago on this date. You want to check this out?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, weather trivia. Did you take a guess? We had some on Facebook, but the trivia asked how much rain fell on this date. We actually set a record on this date last year, July 10th, 2024. There's a good reason that a lot of people won't remember this record.
I think I know why.
And that is?
Because we had so many tornadoes in New York City that day. We had like 18, right?
We had 18 tornado warnings. And we had some D from Frank, A for Mary, D for Julie, and A for Julie. So what do you think?
Abigail, what's your guess?
It's a straight up guess, right? I mean,
Yeah.
for this one.
I'll go with D. That seems like a. Actually, I'll go with A.
I'm going A. It's going to be a big number.
So A would get you into like top 10, maybe top 8 of all time in Rochester if you go that high. 0.58 would get you probably into the lowest third of all records. And it was interesting because it's actually, I didn't put the answer in there, did I? Uh-oh. The answer is C. And the interesting part, I think I got the rest of it hidden on there.
Did you even post this question to Facebook?
I did. That's where we got those responses from. I think so. But it is C. It's 0.89 inches. The interesting part about that record, too, it's the lowest daily rainfall record for the month of July in Rochester. So it's the only record that is less than an inch of rain.
Wow.
So it's a pretty low amount. And the reason that you probably don't remember it is we had 6 tornadoes, 18 tornado warnings. We were on the air in continuous coverage for tornadoes for almost 3 hours during that afternoon on July 10th last year. We had at one point 6 independent tornado warnings in the Rochester area, all at the same time.
That's wild.
I know. That's like Midwest stuff. I mean, that's Kansas and, Iowa. That weather is pretty wild. There's some of the video right there of one of the tornadoes. I believe this was the Eden tornado south of Buffalo. There was a good amount of video that came in from that tornado that blew on through. This is pretty compelling right here. Yeah, just get down. I mean, you can actually see the circulation right there. There goes the roof.
Yep.
That's some scary stuff. This is probably what it looked like in Phelps on Monday evening.
Yeah.
Wild.
I believe this was an EF1 or an EF2.
Okay.
Yep, it was a strong tornado. So you can see the damage there it did to the farm from the drone footage there. But
just crazy.
Scary stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Scary stuff. Thankfully, it's much more quiet today. Our muddy paw outlook is looking pretty good for us. Look at these guys.
Aww.
It's Bella and Raven.
Wait, there's 2?
Is it a cat up there?
Is that a cat or a dog? You know what? The picture did
Oh, it's a cat up there and a dog closest to us.
All
Little
right.
bean.
Bella and Raven. Knocked out right there from having fun, right?
Listen,
They're best friends.
those summer days, I'll tell you what, play is hard work.
I'm going to be joining Bella and Raven shortly after our Rochester is over today.
Yup.
Yeah. Dry pause, though, for Friday. Saturday, dry pause. Looks like some scattered showers and thunder on Sunday. Could be some wet pause out there and into Monday. But who's a fan of the summer heat? Who wants more of this? This is from the Climate Prediction Center. They supply some of the background on this, but we are in firm agreement that Western New York, the lower Great Lakes, it's looking like we're going to be into the 90s again. Views like this, right, bring you back. This is our, I put that background behind the Muggy Meter.
Yeah, where is that palm tree in the Rochester region?
You know, there's 2 palm trees on this road.
What?
Yes.
Where?
West Henrietta Road.
Where?
Right before the expressway. Go to 390. What is that? What's that cafe there? What's the name of it?
They've got palm trees there?
Yeah.
They do, don't
Right out
they?
front. Yeah. And they're real. They are real.
They do.
You got to check it
They
out.
put the Christmas lights on them.
They do.
Yeah.
Yep. Steamy air out there, soupy air into the weekend, and still kind of steamy next week. Dew points in the 60s and 70s. You're going to be feeling it. 72 now. The dew point is at 66, and that number likely climbs to around 70 this afternoon, especially for the folks south of Rochester that end up catching some thundery downpours. We'll see about this. One thing that we're going to have to watch, though, for the afternoon, some of these are going to be slow-moving storms, and you really don't want any storm to stick around for more than 10 or 20 minutes at a time because it can overwhelm storm drains and that kind of thing, and you get into poor drainage flooding. We don't think it's an area-wide issue, but could we have a localized issue with that? Sure, that's always a possibility in weather. But tomorrow starts dry, looks pretty good to start the end of the work week. Golf forecast today, we'll see those numbers climb up into the low 80s again with that chance for some showers and thunder towards
1 month until the Dan Schrack Invitational, and we're still looking for a venue, Oak Hill.
Okay. Oak Hill. You think they heard us?
I hope so.
Big fans of the show.
Yeah, big fans of the show.
Big fans of the full, say it.
Buck Moon.
Okay.
Oh,
Yep.
I didn't know where he was going with it.
8:54
Full.
tonight. It's a full moon out there. You'll get to enjoy that big bright moon. It was right in our front living room window when I woke up this morning. It was shining right through, looking right at me. It was pretty cool. 7-day forecast says get ready for the heat, keep the AC going, invite your friends over to the pool, and keep yourself well hydrated.
Yeah, that's good advice. Yep, sunscreen is good.
Yep.
Hydration is good.
And while you're out there looking at all the pretty flowers and the flora and fauna around, if you have a question about gardening, why does this grow here? What can I do to make it grow better?
We're getting questions already.
Yeah.
Great.
And we want more of those questions. You can email us your garden questions. Did you know this, Abigail? We have an email address for garden questions.
Dan just wanted to hear the music.
This is true. To both of those things. I did know that we had an email, and I did know that Dan wanted to hear the music. Yes.
Yes.
But both of those things are accurate. Email us, news@13wham.com. Send in your garden questions. We will get the answers for you. You can also send them to us through the 13wham Facebook page.
We're going to have some
look
fun
at
with
it.
this.
Did that just change?
I think it did.
What did it say before?
I don't know.
Oh, it says, we will answer, I don't know.
That's
It
okay.
just turned from orange to blue
Oh,
for some reason.
the color changed.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is weird.
It's okay. This graphic is
This graphic has been acting
this graphic
funny
is
this
growing like the segment.
It really is.
I think it's.
really.
I think
really
it.
is.
Well, if you want to get into the technical, I think it might have been an original Good Day Rochester graphic.
Oh.
Because that's white, orange, and blue.
Yep.
And Arc Rochester is only white and blue.
Oh, look at that.
Arc does have? No?
We're being
Where
told
is
Arc has orange.
You have
Seeing
orange.
white and blue.
All right, it's fine.
Looking around.
I don't see
looking
it.
around. I don't know.
Hey, stick around. We've got a lot more to come right here on Arc Rochester, including when we come back, we are learning more about an upcoming concert that's bursting with color and fun.
Yeah, don't forget, you can watch us on the go wherever you are. We're streaming live right now on the 13wham YouTube channel and on foxrochester.com. Stick around, we're back after this.
9:12 this morning. Thanks so much for sticking with us here on ARC. So this Saturday, the Rochester Gay Men's Chorus is taking audiences to the jungle with a vibrant and fun concert at Hochstein.
Yeah, here to tell us a little bit more about what the theme entails, we have two members of the chorus, Josh Knapp and Sean Terry. Good morning to you both. Thanks for being here.
Morning, guys. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Let's get right into it. It is called It's a Jungle Out There, yes?
Yeah.
All right, so tell us about the theme.
So the idea behind the theme was, one, the obvious, kind of jungle, a lot of animal-themed songs, Crocodile Rock, things like that. But then we also wanted to kind of take into mind the current climate that the whole world's kind of seeing. It is a bit of a jungle, so we're trying to go and show the lighter side of that, show support to all those people out there who are kind of struggling right now.
Fair enough. Now, I have to ask, when people come to these concerts, how many times do people stand up and just start joining in singing, you know?
I would say...
Does it happen?
Yeah, people maybe
it
not
encouraged?
stand up, but they...
Oh, of course.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Especially when we do songs like Crocodile Rock or anything that they may have heard from the radio. People love it.
Tell us about how much fun you guys have during rehearsal, and I imagine the concerts too. It's got to be just like a party every single time, right?
Yeah, I mean, rehearsals are a lot of work, but it's a great community, a lot of good friends. We have a blast.
Yeah, the community piece is huge. That's why most of us are there, to find the community and find some friends and that we can feel safe around and sing some nice harmonious music with.
How do you come up with the themes for each of these concert series?
We don't.
You don't?
It is a difficult task, and there are some of the guys in this choir who have been doing it for years, and I'm always amazed that every single cycle, 4 times a year, they're coming up with a whole new idea of a group of songs that all ties together into some great theme idea for the concert.
Yeah, we decide them about a year in advance. So right now we're planning our 2027 selections. So we're going through we usually do 3 concerts a year, 3 cycles that we go through. And we're planning out all the things. But for our summer cycle, it's usually Pride and a take on Pride. So this year it's a jungle out there, theme on Pride, and everything that Josh was talking about.
Are you allowed, though, to pitch a song and say, hey, this has kind of got a jungle theme. Can we squeeze this one in?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
They're always looking for suggestions from the rest of the choir, but we do have a specific music selection committee that whenever they have a meeting, everybody's welcome to come and pitch.
Is there a particular song that you're really looking forward to, that you're like, the audience is just going to love this?
I'm very excited. We're doing a song called Chosen Family, and it's a great opportunity to just kind of let people know you're not always necessarily born into the family that's right for you. It's very unfortunate that some people don't get that kind of support, but there's always going to be a group out there that will support you, and that can be your chosen family. They'll stick with you till the end.
And for you?
Well, we are part of a smaller a cappella group that's with the chorus, and we're singing Can You Feel the Love Tonight? I'm very excited about that. I get a solo in it, so it's great.
Excellent.
Very nice. Lion King, who doesn't love it?
Right?
Absolutely. All right, one more time for somebody sitting at home. When, where, ticketing information, what do they need to know if they want to go?
Absolutely. The concert is 7:30 at Hochstein. It's this Saturday. You can also get $5 off if you use the code PRIDE. When you buy it at thergmc.org.
Perfect.
Yeah. Thank you both so much for coming in today. We appreciate it. Break the leg. I'm sure the concert will be amazing. And we'll put the tickets and the information for you over on foxrochester.com.
9:16 this morning. Don't go anywhere. When ARC Rochester returns, Stephannie Joseph will be back breaking down some of our top political headlines.
Yeah, we have the political pulse coming up next.
It's time for a political pulse check here on ARC Rochester. This week, President Trump suggested a federal takeover of New York City and Washington, D.C. Now, while at a cabinet meeting this week, Trump said in part, quote, "If a communist gets elected to run New York, it can never be the same, but we have tremendous power at the White House to run places when we have to. We could run D.C. We're looking at D.C. We don't want crime in D.C. We want the city to run well." Now, D.C.'s mayor responded to questions about the proposed idea. Our sister station in D.C., WJLA, reports she said in part, quote, "When a president has both houses of the Congress, limited home rule is just that. I think our approach to working with the president has been a good one to focus on our shared priorities, which we have." And for more on whether this is all possible, I'm joined by politics professor at Nazareth University, Tim Nealon. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Stephannie.
There is a lot to get into here. I kind of want to start with some of the comments that came from D.C.'s mayor talking about that limited home rule. Can you provide some clarification or perspective on what that is?
Sure. When District of Columbia was set up, it was never intended to be an autonomous, independent, self-governing section. It was controlled by the federal government. And still, to the extent that it has any autonomy, that does come from Congress. There are a couple of home rule acts that were passed by Congress that give the District of Columbia, the D.C. Metro area, the right to have a mayor, council, and govern itself. But again, as the mayor has indicated, that is limited home rule. So that Congress funds it, has almost complete control over it, unless it were to achieve statehood, which is unlikely since Republicans generally would not support the District of Columbia becoming its own state. As it's very likely to have two senators who would be Democrat and a congressperson that would be a Democrat as well.
So does this mean that based off of any changes to rules in Congress, them deciding on that this is potentially possible?
It is quite possible, and I think that's the mayor is actually seems to be somewhat worried about that in terms of how they responded, saying limited home rule is exactly that, right? So Congress could, in fact, interfere with the workings of the D.C. government, which is because of its unique position. It's very different from what the president was saying about New York City, which has home rule through the state constitution, and of course the states have power through the 10th Amendment of the Constitution to govern themselves.
Yeah, that is for sure. And I think one of the things about his comment specifically for New York City was just about the mayoral race. There's a lot to get into there. The first question I want to ask you in that regard is about the mayoral candidate, the Democratic mayoral candidate, Zohran Mamdani. He's raised a lot of headlines for a lot of people, even members of his own party who haven't been quick to add support to him. So, one, why is there hesitation within the party to support him as a candidate?
The Democrats haven't quite come to a consensus on why they lost the last presidential election and did not have gains in the House and Senate the way that they thought they might have. They are concerned that if they become too progressive, that is, if they embrace the democratic socialism of Mamdani, that this will alienate voters who seem to have approved more of Donald Trump's much more traditionalist, conservative ideals. So within the party, there's a lot of friction. And so until they can come to some consensus on why they lost that election, should they be more moderate? Should they be more concerned about the economy and less about ideology? The Democrats have been hesitant to embrace Mamdani. I'm sure by the time we get to the election, you'll hear key officials embracing and supporting, particularly if Donald Trump is supporting, Adams. Donald Trump has not weighed in yet, but he said some nice things about the current mayor, Adams. He did not say very many nice things about the Republican candidate, Sela. And, who knows, he even said something mildly kind about Cuomo.
Yeah, so one question I have for you is whether or not there may be some room for other parties like those independent candidates to kind of split up a lot of the vote, because usually it would be split between Democrats or Republicans. But now with that third party in place, could the votes be much more spread out?
Yeah, that's in fact a lot of Republicans would like the Republican candidate Curtis Seeley to remove themselves. That would free up some votes that might be then sent to another candidate that would block Mamdani. So right now, strategically, I think the Republicans, Independents, Donald Trump would prefer Adams or Cuomo over the Democratic candidate Mamdani. So that right now there's some sort of talk in the background among Republicans to have the Republican candidate drop off the ballot.
All right, Professor Nealon, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Always appreciate your perspective.
Thank you.
And be sure to stay with ARC Rochester for your top political headlines. We're back after this.
Good Thursday morning. Thanks so much for sticking with us here on ARC Rochester. For this morning's reporter recap, we want to discuss the frustration that's growing among teachers in the RCSD as the school board voted down a contract extension intended to keep teachers inside city classrooms.
As 13 WAM's Christian Garzone reports, the teachers union says the failed vote comes as the district is already rapidly losing educators and students.
The noes have it, and that concludes this particular part of the conversation.
Tuesday evening, the Rochester Board of Education voted down a contract extension for teachers with incentives on retaining them.
This was a surprise and huge disappointment to teachers.
Dr. Adam Urbanski, the teachers union president, says right now they are on the cusp of a crisis.
Last year, we had 80 teachers retire, but more than twice as many, 170, leave in the middle of the school year. So we lost 250 teachers.
The extension included a 4% salary increase for that 1 year and $2,500.
We've already had 2 resignations today.
RTA Secretary Jason Valenti says teachers are leaving for better opportunities in districts just miles away.
It's a fulfilling job, but it's also It's draining.
The vote last night, even though some were a yes, like board member Beatrice LeBron, said this contract all seemed rushed.
I personally feel that the ball was dropped on the communications to this board and our ability to have a little bit more say before we got to this vote.
In a statement, Superintendent Dr. Eric J. Rosser said in part he looks forward to the RTA developing a fair 3-year agreement that keeps our students at the center while supporting educators. Board President Camille Simmons also weighed in, saying in part the board looks forward to a comprehensive agreement that prioritizes both students' and educators' needs and reaching an agreement that is fiscally responsible.
That story getting a lot of attention online from our Christian Garzone. So before we go in depth with Christian, we do want to take a look at what people are saying online and where you stand.
Yeah, so Stephannie Joseph joins us now from the live desk. And Steph, a lot of comments on social media. Let's run down some of them.
Yeah, so just to start out with, some people are pointing fingers at the board specifically. Chris says here the RCSD board is the problem. It needs to be dissolved legally before our children can prosper. And adding, really surprised, RCSD needs good teachers. Adam also saying they're part of the problem. Absolutely, there are other issues as well. Stuff for kids to learn when they're not in school. When you get this all together, it's a perfect storm of failure. But no one will admit that they just keep saying more money. As for Wilma, adding clearly none of them have spent time in a classroom, so maybe an experience thing for her. As for Anne, she says get rid of the school board and start new. So a lot of different comments on this, but again, it seems like a lot of people have their own ideas about what may be causing this as well.
Yeah.
They certainly do. And, you know, I was looking at those comments early this morning. Somebody else pointed out that or accused the Rochester Teachers Association of trying to slip this in while there was an interim superintendent. But then you're thinking to yourself, wait a second, over the course of the past, 12 years, we've had a lot of interim superintendents because we've had a lot of superintendents.
This is true. And I believe that we found out that the previous superintendent was on board for this agreement. Yeah. So, Steph, we appreciate the comments and we appreciate that segment, where you stand. Reminder, you can submit your comments on any of our social media pages. You may see them right here on Arc Rochester.
Absolutely. Now, for more in-depth coverage, we're joined now by Christian Garzone, picking up that story again for us this morning. Christian, this is something I feel that every time the contract comes up, there's a back and forth, and a push and pull.
There's always a push and pull and a back and forth with RCSD. A couple points to make here when it comes to money. Number one, that was brought up in the comments, and Dr. Urbanski said RCSD, according to him, has billions of dollars in reserve funds, so why not use that for this one-year contract extension? But you saw the statements in there from the superintendent and the board president. They're looking to do more of a multi-year contract deal, 2-3 years versus this one-year extension. So it looks like they want to come to the table and have more negotiations on this. And about the deal that was made with the interim superintendent, Adam Urbanski said, look, that's what I was told to do. So I made the deal back then in the time frame that was allowed. Now there's a new sheriff in town. And getting back to those 2-3 year agreements they probably want, looks like, again, just change of command. Let's come to the table and talk about this and make it a little bit better.
What was the overall feeling among some of the teachers and some of the other staff members? I imagine frustration.
Yeah, frustration. I talked to Jason Valente there, who's now the RTA secretary, who taught, I believe it was social studies, and I might be wrong on that, or maybe it was science, I forget. But I've known him for a number of years, so he was there, and I was grateful he spoke on this. But they are losing teachers at a rapid rate. You heard in the package there, he said, we had 2 resignations today. People are leaving. Of course, salary is an issue, but also we kind of talked about safety a little bit. You know, how safe is it in the classroom versus, say, in the suburbs? And he didn't exactly go on record, but it's kind of like a thing where it's like, yeah, that's also an issue as well, as when I come to work, what else am I dealing with? And he also said, around the clock, teachers are always engaged doing things, trying to be dedicated to these kids. So it's not just a 9-to-5 job. I mean, he said, Thursday nights you're grading papers, and the weekends you're putting together lesson plans. So it's an around-the-clock job for, an amount of money, and maybe, I don't know, $45,000, $50,000 a year. Some teachers have been there for a long time, making perhaps maybe less than what they're worth.
Well, it's an around-the-clock job for them. It's also an around-the-clock job for leadership within that district. And, I mean, the last full-time superintendent they had left not because we were moving from the region, but just left for another local district.
Yeah, are you talking about Terry Dade?
No, not Terry Dade.
Carmine Peluso.
Yes, Carmine Peluso.
Well, there's been so many. It's
exactly.
Just like it keeps changing over. And, yeah, I mean...
Is that part of the problem?
It could be part of the problem. I'm not really sure what goes on behind the scenes with a lot of this stuff, and I think I wish the board would weigh in a little more on this, but as you heard in there with this agreement, Beatrice LeBron says, look, we felt completely blindsided by this. Communication wasn't exactly all there, and it was kind of a split vote right down the middle, 4-3. Not down the middle, but 4-3, the yeses and nos. And on that board vote, Urbanski said, I feel like this is more of like a gotcha, like, we don't care for each other. You voted yes, I'm voting no type of deal. That was Urbanski's feeling on this.
So would you say that there is quite a bit of tension there among board members?
I think there very well could be. According to Urbanski and others, yeah, there's some tension behind the scenes there. So,
tension behind the scenes, but when it comes down to it, the people that lose out of all of this are the students.
Yeah.
They are the ones that end up losing the game every go around. Yeah. Every time we change leadership, every time another teacher leaves the district, every time there's a failed contract negotiations, it's the student that takes the hit.
And it always does seem like they do have funding and money every year. What's the return on receipts? You know, when it comes to student progress and things like that, it's always a question I ask, and it's always something that's kind of an uncomfortable elephant in the room. But yeah, the students are the ones who suffer on this, and it is what it is. But hopefully they can come to the table, make a better deal. We'll see what happens as this all plays out.
Do we know when that conversation is supposed to continue, when there's supposed to be another meeting of the minds?
No, but Urbanski is saying the next step in this is he's demanding another vote take place. Think about this, take a vote again, but who knows what.
Now you're not blindsided. Now you know what the deal is.
There you go.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens with
Absolutely.
that. Yeah.
Christian, we appreciate you coming on the show and talking about this with us. And if you'd like to read Christian's story and all the other research, you can head over to 13wham.com. And again, another reminder, weigh in on our social media. You may see your comments right here on TV.
9:36 this morning. Stick around. Much more to come here on ARC Rochester, including when we come back, we're learning more about what's in store at the upcoming Cornhill Arts Festival.
And as always, take us on the go wherever you are. We're streaming live right now on the 13wham YouTube channel and on foxrochester.com. Stick around. We're back on the other side of the commercial break. Welcome back. We are looking ahead to this weekend for the 57th annual Cornhill Arts Festival. The neighborhood will turn into a beacon of all kinds of art, and we're getting a closer look this morning.
We certainly are. Organizers are bringing back some fan favorites and presenting some new things. So here with the overview, we have Cornhill Neighborhood President Jeff Holdsworth and artist for this year's poster, Maya Kettleholm. Thank you so much for coming in. And we got to get right to the big reveal of the morning. This poster, Maya, it's absolutely incredible. Congratulations on being chosen. How do you do this? How did you come up with this?
So all of the characters are kind of inspired of people that I met through doing the festival. And obviously they're not super realistic interpretations of those people, but I just kind of tried to capture the energy and all the different personalities of people that I've met. And I love like kind of vintage, whimsical children's book illustrations, so that's kind of where I went with the design.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. Very, very cool. And so do the people that are represented by the funny little critters on this, do they know? Are they looking at it and they're saying, oh, that's totally me? Oh.
They might. I hope that everybody can kind of maybe see a part of themselves. And
she has not confirmed or denied.
Okay.
Any one of us. When we've picked our own characters out, she has not confirmed.
Why was this the artwork that was chosen?
Because of that fun and eclectic nature of it, really. Maya was one of several folks that applied and came up with proposals for the poster, and it was a local artist who was in our Emerging Artists Expo in the past when you were at Nazareth, and local from Honey Eye Falls, and so that combined with the kind of eclectic, diverse characters in there kind of hit home with everybody on the committee.
Well, it's beautiful artwork, and props to you, my friend. This is not the only artwork that will be on display, though. So tell us a little bit about the festival.
No, it's pretty crazy. We have 350 or 360 artists out across the 12 streets in the neighborhood, and something every style, right? We've got fun linoleum prints like this. We've got paintings, sculptures, a little bit of everything, and I think what's cool, like I think I mentioned about Maya, is that she was in the Emerging Artist Expo. So it's a really competitive set. There's almost 40 people that applied for 20 spots or 25 spots, and those are all emerging artists that have not been exhibiting and things in the past. So they get a chance to get their creative mind in front of the crowds of the Rochester area.
So Maya, are you going to have more artwork on display out there during the festival, not just this?
Yes, I will have my own tent this year.
Wow.
Yay. Is this your first time having your own tent?
Well, technically, for the past 2 years, I've done the Emerging Artist section of the festival, but this year I'll be like kind of separate from that.
What can people expect when they go to your tent? More of this?
Yeah, so it's very similar to that. I do a lot of like printmaking. There'll be just kind of different illustrations and lots of little creatures.
How cool is that?
Are we going to see this on any T-shirts?
Yes, of course. We wouldn't be a festival, right, if we didn't have merch.
Okay, good.
So there's hats and T-shirts and all kinds of good stuff you can get at the merchandise booth right near where Maya's tent is. And so all of that and the funds from that go back into the powering the neighborhood and the community events we do.
And where is your tent? Do we know yet?
Frederick Douglass and Adams Street.
All right.
Look at that. Good.
Excellent.
I'm glad you knew.
Yeah.
You looked with, I don't remember.
I didn't know off the top of my head, but
yes, now we know where you'll be set up.
Very good.
What else can people expect? Because every year you guys come back, it gets bigger and better and bigger and better.
We're always kind of amazed ourselves working on it. There's always something different. I think one of the cool things, I think the weatherman was talking about it being a little warm. The Rock Lego group, there's a user group for Legos. They have a huge exhibit, the whole gymnasium at the rec center. So if you're walking the festival streets and you get a little warm, you can go see the Legos in the air-conditioned gym.
Very nice.
So we've got that, the emerging artist. Cousins Maine Lobster will be out there from Shark Tank selling lobsters. The Slush Bus will be doing wine smoothies. All kinds of food and entertainment. I think you're going to talk a little bit to our entertainment crew in a minute. They will have 4 stages going, 25 plus performances. So a little bit of stuff for everybody.
The planning for this.
Yeah.
With so much going on and all of it going on in such a small time frame, when does the planning begin? Do you give yourself a break in between the festival year, or are we already planning next year before this year's tent is up?
The day after we start planning for the next year. We take pride, though, it's a volunteer-run festival. It's kind of unique. It's still run by the community and a bunch of volunteers. Most of the volunteers live in the neighborhood, and so it's a kind of a passion project for folks. It really does kind of highlight our neighborhood and bring people back. So it is a year-round effort. We do other stuff too. There's a holiday tour at the holidays and things, but that same core group of volunteers works all year long.
Very, very good.
Incredible.
Thank you both so much for being here. One more time, for somebody who wants to come by, see the art, experience all of the greatness that you have, where, when, what do they need to know?
Saturday and Sunday, 12th and 13th, 10 a.m. both days. Tons of information on our website, cornhillartsfestival.com. All kinds of stuff around parking, free RTS, air-conditioned shuttles from the parking lots downtown. We try to make it as easy as possible. So that website's a central spot to get all the information. And then again, if you see folks out there in the volunteer shirts, give them a big applause and say thanks, because this wouldn't happen without the 150 volunteers that are wandering around the festival.
Absolutely incredible. Thank you both for coming in, and congratulations once again. This is so cool. This has got to be like top of the resume now, right?
It's pretty
Yeah. Good. First page of the portfolio. Thank you again. We appreciate it.
Time right now is 9:46. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're talking about some of the music and entertainment that'll be featured at the festival this weekend.
Yes, and you probably guessed by now, but we're going to have a live studio performance right here with one of those artists. Stick around. Arc Rochester returns right after this.
Okay, come on, let's go. Stay right with me. Please don't. Stop it. She's just a little girl. Yeah, whatever you need to do. Do I have to be on camera? Yeah. You can be a star, though. You're already a star. He's gonna mic you up. Stay right there. You can do that same thing and just run it right around the back of him. That's good.
Hey, welcome back. We are continuing to preview the upcoming Cornhill Arts Festival happening this Saturday and Sunday. In our last segment, we talked all about this year's poster. You can see it right now on the t-shirt right here, and a general overview of the festival. But now we're talking about the music, or we'll hear about the music too.
Yeah, for more, we're joined now by the entertainment producer for the festival, Michael Woodward, and local musician, Todd East. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Thanks for being
Good morning.
here.
Thanks for having us on.
Excited.
We're all fired up and ready to go, man.
As you should be. I think everybody's fired up for the festival, too.
Are you coming too?
I do plan on going.
I'll be looking for you.
You'll find me.
Great, Todd. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about how this whole collaboration started.
Well, I've been doing this for 23 years now, and I love my job working with the guys at Cornhill, all the great people at Cornhill. We've got like 23 people on our committee that are constantly working on it. As Jeff said, yes, right after we finish, we go right into starting up, trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? Organize for 2026. But anyway, with the music this year, we're going to do 23 different acts, 25 performances. Our headliner this year is a guy by the name of Billy Walton, coming out of Asbury Park, New Jersey. He's a fabulous guitar player. He's going to play on Sunday afternoon. And opening for him is going to be our other featured artist, Todd East, and his band Casino Royale. It'll be a 10-piece band. Todd and I just got done recording his very first CD. There's 6 new songs on it. We're going to have that there. Then we're going to be featuring that whole album at Cornhill.
We're going to do it in its entirety.
Wow.
Indeed.
Todd, what is it like for you? Because listen, we had you in here. I believe last year you came and performed for the Cornhill Arts Festival.
I think it was the year before.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Okay.
Wow.
And listen, you are supremely talented. What is it like being asked back year in and year out?
Well, let me tell you, Woody and I have been friends, and he's also my personal manager. And it's such an extreme pleasure to have him as my dear friend and my manager. But it's an honor, and Woody and I try to change it up every time we come back. So this time we have the album to support, and between Woody and Jimmy Richmond and myself, Jimmy couldn't be with us today, unfortunately. He was my producer and Woody my executive producer, and it's a labor of love for all 3 of us, you know. And so this year it's going to be new and different. We'll have a horn section and 2 great backup singers that are dear friends of mine, and so. And Woody and I try to beat it every couple of years. So we used to do it every year, but now Woody and I do it every couple of years, so we have time to plan something new.
Yeah. And the big deal with that is there's so much talent in our
Not just
community
those,
with music that I try to give artists that are writing and performing their own music an opportunity to come and perform at Cornhill. We bring in cover bands once in a while too, but I build the music program around the same thing that they do with the art itself. In order to be an artist and to have a booth at this festival, you've got to be able to prove that you do your own original work.
That's right.
So then I came up with that idea and concept, and I'm going to start featuring these artists that write and perform their own music and are passionate about moving forward in this profession.
100%.
I notice you can't keep your hands off those keys.
Sorry, Danny.
No, listen, I imagine it's a built-in enthusiasm and
It's
love
inherent
for music.
nature, yes. Indeed.
Yes. How long have you played?
I've been playing piano really full-time since I was 13. I was a drummer for years, too. In fact, I played in jazz band through high school and college at Nazareth on drums, but I studied classical and became a full-time pianist at 19, and I was actually doing both for a while, but I was surrounded by so many incredible drummers that I gave up the kit at 25, and, you know, piano's been a full-time thing for me, really, so for well over 30 years.
That is amazing.
So,
oh my gosh.
One day I'll learn something. You never know.
Listen, you don't. I say stop where you are because you've hit perfection, my friend.
Thanks, Dan.
What are we going to hear from you?
Okay, we were trying to decide what we were going to do, but I think this is what we're going to do. A song, and it's all about the old sayings, and they say this. They say time is a healer, and Woody came up. Said, Jimmy, Todd, we got to write a song. We got to write a song saying who are they? And I came up with the music, and Jimmy, being the great lyricist that he is, I'm sorry he couldn't be here today. I'm going to do a snippet of that for you, and it's just simply called "Who Are They?"
All right, Todd East, take it away.
If I can only remember the lyrics. Okay. They say that time is a healer, and curiosity killed the cat. They say the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, and the customer is always right. They say that love is blind. One door closes, another one opens. Honesty is the best policy. If you can't beat them, join them. I can't say that I disagree, but what's confusing to me, you know what they say. Who are they? Somebody make it clear to me. Who are they? It's part of our history. Who are they? It's still a mystery. Who are they? Who are they?
Welcome back. Time for our final thoughts of the morning on ARC Rochester. I think this kind of takes the cake. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, best bits of the morning. We had a whole lineup of great guests, but we got to give it to Todd East.
Yeah.
He's the one who performed for us today.
pal.
And
It was great.
It's incredible talent that you have. One more time for somebody sitting at home who wants to catch you specifically performing at the Cornhill Arts Festival this weekend. Where do we go?
Well, go ahead. What do you want? You want to do it? What?
Well, on Saturday, now Todd's going to play both days. You know, he lives in Oklahoma now. When we fly him in, I'm not going to let him sit around for one day. So on Saturday,
We've got 20 seconds left.
All right, Saturday afternoon, 4:20 with Todd East and the Schmidt Kickers.
Perfect.
And then Todd East and Casino Royale on the main stage at 10 minutes after 1 on Sunday.
Take it away, Todd.
Standing in line, marking time, waiting for the welfare dime, cause they can't buy a job. Man in the suit of his buys that catches the poor old lady's eye.